First tonight on our news at 7.
An historic 4 straight wins over the past 2 years at Junkanoo for the Shell Saxon Superstars. Stay tuned to our news tonight to find out how they did it.
Plus, Silver Airways filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. They say the move will ensure a sustainable future for the company. And later, a sustainable New Year's resolution. Marlena Leonard shares how eco-friendly habits can help save the planet. And then at our news at 7:30, the College Junkanoo group is in celebration mode after snagging the top spot in the New Year's Day Junkanoo parade. Our Joshua Williams is in the shack tonight. Our news live at 7 starts right now. Welcome to our news at 7. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Berthany McDermott, in for Candino Knowles. It's been 2 years' worth of celebration for the Shell Saxon Superstars. Their latest victory this New Year's Day was a historic one as they celebrated 60 years as a group. The group's chairman says all of the hard work was worth it. Joshua Williams gets us started tonight.
You know you got a party. This school, you know you're fortunate, you got to have something for the people, right?
The Shell Saxon Superstars once again celebrating another Junkanoo victory, unofficially taking home the New Year's Day parade crown. Rushing on bay under the theme, Our Triumphant Journey, the group put on a judge-pleasing performance despite coming out last well after sunrise New Year's Day. Chairman Toby Austin says it's a testament to their hard work.
When you set out, when you have a goal from Junkanoo, start when we get in the shack, you know, our goal is from last year we went 2, right? So you know your goal is to win 2 more, you know what I mean? And so you start the process begin, you know what I mean? But 4 straight, it feel, boy, I can't explain that feeling, but it's a great feeling.
It's the first time an A-Division group has won 4 straight titles at the Junkanoo parades, something Austin is proud of.
It was good to be a part of history, right? So now we get underneath our belt now. So, I mean, I won't look too far ahead, right? But, you know, Boxing Day is coming again, so, you know, we'll try to see if we repeat again. I mean, but that's the goal. The goal is to win.
The group winning Best Music, Best Choreographed Dancers, Best Performance, Best Lead Costume, and Best Free Dance.
I say the parades nowadays is very, you have good stiff competition, right? And so when you could do it on a Boxing Day morning, you win most of them categories, and you come up New Year's and you almost repeat that, that's unheard of, right?
And as workers begin to clean the shack following another successful Junkanoo season, what's next for the Saxon Superstars?
So first thing you do is we want to get God thanks. So hopefully next week we'll sit around the table, the leadership, and we'll set our agenda for 2025. Like I say, then we'll start with the church service and then, you know, the float parade.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Joshua Williams.
Thanks, Joshua. Well, in news from the courts tonight, a 46-year-old man is behind bars on allegations that he raped a woman he knows. Prosecutors allege that Karan Cartwright raped the 23-year-old woman at her home in Cooper's Terrace on December 26, 2024. Cartwright didn't have to enter a plea to the charge when he stood before Chief Magistrate Roberto Reckley. Cartwright is back in court on April 24, 2025 to receive voluntary bill of indictment papers. 2025 was met with not so great news for Silver Airways as the airline announced in a letter to its customers that it plans on filing for Chapter 11 bankruptcy days after the Christmas holiday. The letter posted to the company's website says the important step was taken to ensure a sustainable future for the company. Aviation Director Kenneth Roma telling us the airline reached out to them ahead of the announcement.
It is anticipated that they will complete this process by the first quarter in 2025. And after meeting with the airline executives, it is not expected that this decision will have any adverse impact on the Bahamas islands that they currently serve. And all tickets remain valid, and they will continue to operate as usual.
The filing was made in the bankruptcy court of the Southern District of Florida. Silver Airways currently has flights to Abaco, Eleuthera, New Providence, Grand Bahama, and Bimini from South Florida. Romer says the airline recently agreed to increase travel to some destinations.
In fact, in December of last year, the airline announced plans to operate additional flights into Georgetown, Exuma, during the off-peak season, increasing frequency to some 6 times per week. And there's also been some discussions also on increasing their airlift into Grand Bahama.
And days after a man was caught and charged in St. Vincent with a fraudulent Bahamian passport, Chief Passport Officer Nicholas Simlet says it's not the first time they've seen this happen. The Chief Passport Officer says when it comes to cloning the travel document, the older Bahamian passports are more vulnerable. Simonet says there have been cases where countries contacted local officials to confirm the authenticity of Bahamian passports.
We're small in nature, and you have a lot of border patrol in various countries that might never have seen a Bahamian passport. But our passports hold a lot of weight worldwide. There's a lot of countries in which you can enter visa-free with a Bahamian passport. So by the virtue of those two existing, leaves us vulnerable for persons to try to replicate our passports.
Simonet says there are mechanisms to prevent instances like these from happening. He says the Passport Office has conducted audits on its system and is working with the service provider to ensure the integrity of the Bahamian passport. They're also preparing for the 10th anniversary of the current e-passport to find ways to enhance security. But there is something you can do. Simonet says the Passport Office is appealing to all Bahamians with the old ER passport to get their document upgraded.
The first generation, which all the numbers start with either ER for adults or EC for children. Those books, would their lifespan come to an end in 2027. As of January last year, we started to make a plea to the public for anybody holding those books to come in and renew their passports, regardless of the expiration date. And we've seen an uptick in persons who've renewed those books, but we still have a few thousand in circulation.
It's time now for your first look at temperatures. Meteorologist Greg Thompson is standing by in the Weather Center. Greg.
Yeah, thanks, Bethany, and a happy Thursday evening, everybody. Look at the temperatures on the outside. Very cool, 71 degrees is what we have. Few clouds, it's on the breezy side. Your winds out of the northeast at 14 miles per hour, and feels like temperature is at 70 degrees. Temperatures around the islands, all cool across the northwest Bahamas, 69 in Freeport, 70 in Marsh Harbor, Abaco, Great Harbor Key, and in Nicholstown, Andros. Alistown, Bimini, 72, 71 over in Governor's Harbor. Central Bahamas, Kemps Bay, 72, 72 in Arthurtown, Cat Island, and in Coburn Town, San Salvador. We pick up 73 in Georgetown, with some showers in the vicinity. Deadman's Key, 74, and into the southeast Bahamas, a little warmer there with 76 in Duncantown, Ragged Island, Matthewtown, Inagua, 74 in Colonel Hill, Cricket Island, Delectable Bay, 75, as well as in Abrahams Bay. And our good neighbors to the southeast, Turks and Caicos Islands, you guys have 77 with some showers in the vicinity as well. Satellite radar composite, weak frontal boundary now across the central Bahamas, basically falling stationary. Some isolated showers associated with that. So those islands in the central Bahamas, especially the Exumas, Long Island and southern Cat Island, you could see a couple of sprinkles, but the high-level clouds moving out of the Gulf of Mexico will feed across our area. That will continue to filter some sunshine tomorrow, but we expect another front on Saturday, and that's going to continue to reinforce those nice cool temperatures we're experiencing right now. That's your first look at weather. Stick with us. A look at your extended forecast is still to come.
Coming up in sports, it's year 7 for the Exuma Sailing Club Regatta. We'll fill you in on all the highlights from Georgetown.
Hey, Greg Thompson here, and thank you for watching. Be sure to hit that follow button. And if you want to see more content like this, follow all of our news social media pages. And hey, don't forget to turn on your notifications so you never miss out on the top stories from the team you already trust.
From these hallowed and historic halls is where justice is administered daily. Yet these courts are challenged with backlogs, resources, and aging facilities. But improvements like e-filing, the enacted court services bill, and more specialized courts are signaling a modernized judiciary. On January 8, RTV presents live coverage of the opening of the legal year. Join us as we explain how this ongoing transformation affects you and the administration of justice.
Each week, we go into the heart of our second city and talk to the people helping to shape this community.
This is what makes me happy to come to work every day, to know that I'm helping someone.
These are the faces of the Grand Bahama Port Authority, helping to maintain infrastructure, grow the economy, and bring a better quality of life.
Our mission statement is to better the life.
Because I have to be a part of Grand Bahama.
Join me at Talia Hall every Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. right here on Our News as we share these inspiring stories of Freeport. Stay with the team you already trust.
Every season creates an opportunity for you to enjoy the comfort and security of your most valuable assets. Unfortunately, termites are common and very unwanted guests that never stop eating. With Struckum, you can enjoy the peace of mind as we protect your investment with our 3-year fumigation warranty. Struckum, #1 in pest control services.
Welcome to Our Sports at 7, presented by 10th Year Seniors. I'm Ronaldo Dorset. That's John Mark Nutt. Let's do show. The Exuma Sailing Club concluded 2024 with the 7th edition of its Youth Regatta. The event featured sailors competing in several categories, including the Optimist, Sunfish, and E-classes. The regatta concluded on New Year's Day in the E-class, and the Lady Kayla, sailed by Joss Knowles and Keanu Hutchinson, were able to repeat as champions. They also won the Cammie Williams Memorial Cup Series.
The CONCACAF Beach Soccer Championships are set to return to the Bahamas in March. The championships are set to take place March 11th to 16th at the Malcolm Park Beach Soccer Facility. The Bahamas will face Panama in the opening match on Tuesday, March 11th at 8 p.m. before taking on the United States and Trinidad and Tobago in the group stage matches. In 2013, when the Bahamas last hosted the event, they advanced to the semifinals, achieving their best finish in tournament history.
The winter break doesn't include a break from training for local baseball players, and one organization is spearheading an effort to keep them competitive. International Elite Sports Academy has partnered with Gulfstream Petroleum and Energy and G-Ball Apparel to host the Battle of the Ballers baseball tournament. Open to all players aged 14 and older, games will be hosted January 3rd and 4th at the Andre Rogers National Stadium.
Bahamian national team player Eric Gordon had one of his best games as a 76er, but they continue to struggle in the East. Gordon finished with 14 points in the 76ers' 113-107 loss to the Sacramento Kings at the Golden One Center in California. He shot 5 from 9 from the field, including 3 from 7 from the three-point line. In the Western Conference, Klay Thompson's Dallas Mavericks lost 110-99 to the Houston Rockets.
That'll do it for Our Sports. Stay tuned to Our News at 7:30 for details on these stories and more.
Running International College Football Bowl game will return after a 1-year absence on Saturday, January 7th at the Thomas A. Robinson Stadium at 11 a.m. This is the first time the game will be played on a Saturday in the month of January. The game will feature the 2019 Bahamas Bowl champion Buffalo Bulls squaring up against the Liberty Flames in a matchup of 2 8-win teams. Our News spoke to the executive team of the Bahamas Bowl, who shared how fans can experience the historic bowl.
We're so proud to be back here, after having to go back to the United States, then bringing the bowl back to Nassau this year. We're the only bowl game this Saturday, January 4th at 11 a.m. kickoff. We think we're going to have the best ratings we've ever had.
Tickets to the game are free to locals, so bring a physical ticket, bring your friends, bring your families, come on out and enjoy the game. They're going to have food trucks and food vendors and beer and water and soda and all that fun stuff. We're going to have Junkanoo at halftime, so it's a really fun, exciting day for everyone.
When Our News comes back from the break, we turn our spotlight to stories making headlines across the world as the FBI continues to probe that deadly New Orleans attack that killed more than a dozen people. Plus, the FBI is also investigating whether there's a link between a Tesla Cybertruck explosion outside a Las Vegas Trump hotel and that New Orleans truck attack. And a power grid collapse left nearly all of Puerto Rico without electricity on New Year's Eve. We have the details when Our News returns.
Donald Trump has been elected president, defeating Vice President Kamala Harris.
America has spoken. Donald J. Trump is headed for a second term in the White House with a Republican majority in the Senate and the Supreme Court. On January 20th, the world will witness his inauguration, and Our News will be there. What will his changes mean for Bahamians in the region? Join Jerome Sawyer and the Our News team for a week of reports starting Inauguration Day. Because Our News is always there when it counts.
Each week, we go into the heart of our second city and talk to the people helping to shape this community.
This is what makes me happy to come to work every day, to know that I'm helping someone.
These are the faces of the Grand Bahama Port Authority, helping to maintain infrastructure, grow the economy, and bring a better quality of life.
Our mission statement is to better the life.
Because I have to be a part of Grand Bahama.
Join me at Talia Hall every Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. right here on Our News.
Donald Trump has been elected president, defeating Vice President Kamala Harris.
America has spoken. Donald J. Trump is headed for a second.
This is Our News. Welcome back. We turn our attention now to stories making headlines across the world. The death toll in a pickup truck attack in New Orleans, Louisiana has risen to 15. 35 other people were also reported injured when the truck plowed through the heart of the French Quarter around 3:15 a.m. on New Year's Day. The area is popular with tourists and a hotspot for major holidays, especially New Year's Eve celebrations. Police said the attacker drove the truck onto a sidewalk and around a police car that was parked to block traffic from entering the area to carry out the attack. The man who rammed the pickup truck into the New Year's partygoers has been identified as Shamsuddin Jabbar, a 42-year-old U.S. citizen and an Army veteran from Texas. A Tesla Cybertruck exploded outside the Las Vegas Trump International Hotel, leaving 1 dead and 7 injured. The incident occurred around 8:40 a.m. local time in the hotel's valet area. The Clark County Fire Department was in charge of responding to the emergency. The FBI is investigating whether there is any connection between the explosion in Las Vegas and the New Orleans truck attack. Gasoline canisters and large firework mortars were packed into the Cybertruck that burst into flames shortly after a driver intentionally drove a pickup truck into crowds celebrating the New Year's in New Orleans. Russian gas supplies to Europe via Ukraine ended on New Year's Day, bringing down the curtain on Moscow's long period of dominance of supply in the European gas market. Lauren Cook reports.
Russian gas supplies to Europe via Ukraine came to an end on New Year's Day. It brings down the curtain on Moscow's long period of dominance of supply in the European gas market. Russia's oldest gas export route to Europe is a pipeline dating back to the Soviet days. The deal expired after Ukraine's Naftogaz refused to renew its latest 5-year transit deal with Russia's Gazprom. Russian President Vladimir Putin, a week later, said there was no time left to sign a new deal. Russia and the Soviet Union spent half a century building up a major share of the European gas market, which at its peak stood at around 35%. But the war in Ukraine has all but destroyed that business for Gazprom, and Russia now holds about 8% of the market. Most Russian gas routes to Europe are shut, including Yamal Europe via Belarus and Nord Stream under the Baltic that was blown up in 2022. The Ukrainian route serves Austria and Slovakia, and both have arranged for alternative supplies. Ukraine is giving up some $800 million a year in fees from Russia, while Gazprom will lose close to $5 billion in gas sales to Europe via Ukraine.
And a power grid collapse left nearly all of Puerto Rico without electricity on New Year's Eve. A statement from power distribution company Luma Energy said roughly 87% of customers were without power as of 1 p.m. on Tuesday. Luma added that it will likely take 24 to 48 hours to turn the lights back on and said the cause of the outage is under investigation. Puerto Rico has long dealt with chronic power outages, and protesters have called for the government to cancel its contract with Luma. Jennifer Gonzalez, who takes office as the new governor of Puerto Rico, said she is forming an energy task force to address the frequent blackouts. We often see our New Year's resolutions as an opportunity to help ourselves improve. But what if you considered adding 1 or 2 that can help your community or even the planet? Marlena Leonard takes a look at steps to make more sustainable choices in 2025.
It's a fresh new year, and many of us take the reset of the calendar as an opportunity to reset our habits. And it's simpler than you think to incorporate some eco-friendly habits into that list. An easy one to get started with would be using less plastic. You can start with committing to use a refillable water bottle and switch to portable, reusable travel utensils for lunchtimes instead of getting single-use utensils every day. Cut down on online shopping and try to support local businesses more in 2025. While it may not be possible to find what you're looking for in the end, you can make a commitment to at least check locally first before shipping items from hundreds or thousands of miles away. Whilst you're shopping locally, check out your local farmers market. Opting for locally grown produce and livestock not only reduces the carbon footprint of food shipments, it also supports those local farmers in helping our own agriculture industry grow and increase our food sovereignty. Whatever your eco-friendly resolution is, and no matter how small a shift, it's still a step in the right direction for a greener 2025. Reporting for Our News and reminding you to put sustainability first, I'm Marlena Leonard.
Still to come in Our News, Today in History. Find out interesting facts about the day that was January 2nd. And then in Our News at 7:30, Drug Enforcement Unit officers are probing a nearly $10 million drug find in Grand Bahama. Find out what led to the arrest. And the Colors Junkanoo Group is celebrating another New Year's Day Junkanoo Parade win. Organizers are reacting tonight. The details when Our News returns.
Donald Trump has been elected president, defeating Vice President Kamala Harris.
America has spoken. Donald J. Trump is headed for a second term in the White House, with a Republican majority in the Senate and the Supreme Court. On January 20th, the world will witness his inauguration, and Our News will be there. What will his changes mean for Bahamians in the region? Join Jerome Sawyer and the Our News team for a week of reports starting Inauguration Day, because Our News is always there when it counts.
From these hallowed and historic halls is where justice is administered daily. Yet these courts are challenged with backlogs, resources, and aging facilities. But improvements like e-filing, the enacted court services bill, and more specialized courts are signaling a modernized judiciary. On January 8th, RTV presents live coverage of the opening of the legal year. Join us as we explain how this ongoing transformation affects you and the administration of justice.
In what we do at Best Brew, it really doesn't end when the customer purchases our product. We offer specialty coffee, tea, spices, and brewing equipment. We do a lot of our orders via website. We actually have the mobile service and the phone service and the internet. So having business in a box really kind of brought everything together for us and helps us to be able to provide the customer services that we pride ourselves on.
Don't spend hours sending individual messages to your customers. Use SMS messaging instead.
On this day in Bahamian history, in 1792, then-Governor John Murray, the 4th Earl of Dunmore, issued a proclamation offering amnesty to all runaway slaves in the colony. The condition for this amnesty was their surrender before February 15, 1792. Fast forward to 1938, Arlington Griffiths Butler, a prominent figure in Bahamian history, was born in Nassau. A lawyer, politician, and former head of the Bahamas Olympic Committee, Butler's political journey began in 1967. He served as Speaker of the House from 1972 to 1977. Despite political shifts, he held key ministerial positions in the F&M government from 1992 to 1997. With a lasting impact on sports, Butler, who passed away on November 9, 2017 at the age of 79, left behind a legacy celebrated with a state funeral on November 24, 2017 at Christchurch Cathedral in New Providence. Then in 1992, Clifford Darling was sworn in as Governor General of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. Darling was the 4th person to serve as Governor General. He succeeded Henry Milton Taylor, who resigned the previous day. He served from January 2, 1992 to January 2, 1995. And in 2009, Jet Travolta died in Freeport, Grand Bahama at the age of 16. Jet Travolta was the son of American actors John Travolta and Kelly Preston. He was vacationing with his family on the island when he suffered a seizure and died as a result. In the coming weeks and months, there would be media speculation as to the cause of his death, as well as a criminal case against then-Senator Pleasant Bridgewater and ambulance driver Torino Lightburn. Travolta alleged that Bridgewater and Lightburn attempted to extort $25 million from him in order to keep details about the death of his son private. Charges against Bridgewater and Lightburn were dropped on September 6, 2010, after Travolta's lawyer motioned to stop the case. At our news, Thursday is the new Friday, and we want you to have some fun with us. Joining us now is entertainment correspondent Danielle Miller. And Danielle, I know you're looking to get a jump start on the weekend. What's the latest, and where are you now?
Hey Berthany, I am at Oasis Bar and Bistro located in the Palmdale area having a drink, and I promise this is going to be my only one tonight because between last weekend at Atlantis, Junkanoo, and the week coming up, Handall gotta take her time. Now, if you want to know what I'm referring to about last weekend at Atlantis, tune into our 7:30 p.m. broadcast for that story. And if you want to know what I'm talking about when I'm referring to next week, go and watch Thursday is the new Friday on our social media platforms. Well, until next time, guys and gals, deuces. Back to you in studio.
Thanks, Danielle. Well, to watch that again and for all of today's top stories, visit ournews.bs. Well, that does it for our news at 7. Joining us now is our Talia Hall with the latest headlines. Talia?
Thanks so much, BJ. Well, Grand Bahama Police seizing nearly $10 million worth of cocaine in a joint operation. Colors Junkanoo Group talks about their New Year's Day parade win. And our Danielle Miller has all the highlights from a recent concert by R&B group 1112. Here are your latest headlines. First tonight on our news live at 7:30, a major operation involving Bahamas Customs and U.S. counterparts leads to the seizure of over 1,200 pounds of cocaine in Grand Bahama, valued at nearly $10 million. We have the details from police coming up. Also, a 3-car collision on Queens Highway in West Grand Bahama leaves an infant dead and multiple people injured. Plus, Colors Junkanoo Group celebrates their big win in the capital. Our Joshua Williams catches up with the group for their reaction. And later, the music makers and the Prodigal Sons face disqualification. Deputy Chairman Adrian LaRota explains the reason why when our news at 7:30 returns.
Donald Trump has been elected president, defeating Vice President Kamala Harris.
America has spoken. Donald J. Trump is headed for a second term in the White House with a Republican majority in the Senate and the Supreme Court. On January 20th, the world will witness his inauguration, and our news will be there. What will his changes mean for Bahamians in the region? Join Jerome Sawyer and the Our News team for a week of reports starting Inauguration Day, because Our News is always there when it counts.
From these hallowed and historic halls is where justice is administered daily. Yet these courts are challenged with backlogs, resources, and aging facilities. But improvements like e-filing, the enacted court services bill, and more specialized courts are signaling a modernized judiciary. On January 8th, RTV presents live coverage of the opening of the legal year. Join us as we explain how this ongoing transformation affects you and the administration of justice.
In what we do at Best Brew, it really doesn't end when the customer purchases our product. We offer specialty coffee, tea, spices, and brewing equipment. We do a lot of our orders via website. We actually have the mobile service and the phone service and the internet. So having business in a box really kind of brought everything together for us and helps us to be able to provide the customer services that we pride ourselves on.
Don't spend hours sending individual messages to your customers. Use SMS messaging instead. With Cable Bahamas Business Solutions SMS messaging, you can send personalized messages to hundreds or even thousands of recipients instantly. It's quick, effortless, and cost-effective. Plus, it ensures that your messages are delivered directly to your customers' cellular phones, guaranteeing higher engagement. Save time and boost your outreach with SMS bulk messaging. Call Cable Bahamas Business Solutions at 60.
Welcome to our news. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Talia Hall. A joint operation in Grand Bahama has led to a major drug bust worth nearly $10 million, totaling an estimated $9,960,000. Authorities confirmed that on New Year's Day, in a coordinated effort with Bahamas Customs and U.S. counterparts, a significant amount of cocaine was seized around 1:30 p.m. The drugs were found in a red 40-foot container at a local port, where officers found 498 packages weighing approximately 1,277 pounds. Now, this would not be the first time a significant amount of drugs have been found in Grand Bahama at a local port. No arrests have been made so far. Chief Superintendent of Police Michael Thurston reveals officers acted on specific intelligence regarding the shipment, which is believed to have come from abroad.
This is very significant because you can imagine if this hits the streets. And when we can get it at the port of entry before it trickles down to the public, or it is smuggled into the United States, it becomes a major problem and much more difficult to actually detect.
Superintendent Katrina McPhee of the Bahamas Customs Department says this joint effort is a proud moment for the entire team.
We intend to do more to continue our efforts to keep the ports safe, thereby also keeping the Bahamas safe and fulfilling our rules in conjunction with other countries such as the United States.
Well, tragedy struck the West Grand Bahama community on New Year's Day as a devastating three-car collision on Queens Highway has claimed the life of an infant. The accident occurred shortly after 6 p.m. The vehicles involved included a white Nissan Cube carrying a woman and her infant son traveling east, a Nissan Fuga heading west with a male driver and two female passengers, and a gray Nissan Cube driven east by another man. Take a look at this video our cameraman Dave Mackey captured when Our News arrived on the scene. Burnt remains of one of the vehicles involved in the accident that was engulfed in flames as a result of the impact. Police tells us emergency crews quickly arrived on the scene and extinguished the fire while all occupants were rushed to medical facilities for treatment. Despite the efforts of medical staff, the infant tragically died at a local clinic. Police say the remaining victims are in stable condition. While the Member of Parliament for the area, Kingsley Smith, offering his prayers to the families involved in the accident, some of whom he says he knows on a personal level. The MP also assuring the public that he is committed to agitate for planning and installation of certain key infrastructure in that community for better lighting. He also encouraged motorists to exercise caution while traversing the streets. Well, just hours before the tragic accident involving an infant in West End, former West Grand Bahamian Bimini by-election independent candidate Daquan Swain spoke on the sidelines of the 2025 Pine Yard Rush West End Junkanoo Parade. Swain stated his commitment to the West Grand Bahama community remains and that he intends to advocate for further development in the area despite the by-election results. In particular, he highlighted the pressing need for additional street lighting on local roads as it is important for public safety.
I would like to see way more development down here. I'd like to see street lights coming down the West End. I would like to see more of our culture pushed in this area. I would like to see more domestic tourism as well as, ecotourism down in this area.
While an accused child molester is behind bars, prosecutors allege that 30-year-old man Shaquille Martin molested a 9-year-old girl multiple times in 2024. Martin allegedly indecently assaulted the child between June and August in New Providence. Although not required to plead to the charges, Martin said he was innocent. He told Chief Magistrate Roberto Rackley that the charges were made up by the child's father. Bail was denied and he returns to court on April 24, 2025 to receive voluntary bill of indictment papers. Well, earlier tonight, we highlighted the Shell Saxon superstars who have won 4 straight Junkanoo parades in the A category. Now we look at the winners of the B division group. Who is no stranger to winning the B group category. The Colors Entertainment and Junkanoo group claiming the crown during the January 1st parade. Our Joshua Williams stopped by their shack today where he spoke with their leader and excited members. Let's take a look.
1, 2, 3,
The Colors Junkanoo group once again sitting atop the B Division mountain following their win at the 2025 New Year's Day parade. The group, who over the years have been known to be the standard for that division, says it's the same drive and attention to detail that keeps propelling them to win. Here's group leader Chris Justilian.
We're always successful because our aim is always to beat our last performance. And I think as Colors evolve and grow, you will see better and better performances as time goes on. Hard work. If you care to, you can take photos of any of the costumes that we have in the shack. You will notice that they are not only pasted with crepe paper, but they are also fringed. And we're really making a valiant attempt to preserve the culture.
The group taking home Best Shirley Street Rush, Best Performance, Best Choreographed Dancers, and Best Free Dance.
It says that we are on the right road. We are training our people well. I really don't know how the best group costume slipped us, because if you look at the results and you look at the group on television, we are uniformed from front to back. Not only uniformed from front to back, but we also won about 75 to 80% of the top prizes in the costuming category.
Now, I also spoke to some of the younger members of the group who shared their unique experience rushing on bay.
And I've actually never rushed before. That was my first time rushing last year. So this year was more exciting because I'm a veteran, as Mr. J said.
I had to balance work. I'm also studying, and it was a challenge. But at the end, I got through it.
Like at the young said, people getting killed, dying at a very young age, stay in positive activities.
For Justilian, it's all about impacting lives.
Colors, we strive our best to be a good example for these many young people. We're here to build a nation, not just to go to Bay Street to win a parade.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Joshua Williams.
All right, thanks for that, Josh. While both the music makers and the Prodigal Sons made it to Bay for the 2025 New Year's Day Junkanoo parades, they were both disqualified when the numbers were tallied. When asked what led to the disqualifications for both groups, Deputy Chairman of the Junkanoo Corporation of New Providence Parade Management Team, Adrian Larota, had this explanation.
The disqualifications came as a result of eligibility, meaning that they did not meet the eligibility requirements for the parades.
He did not go into any details about which specific eligibility requirements the groups did not meet, but this is not the first time these two groups have been disqualified from the major parades. We asked the JCNP who would have made the call to remove these groups from the A division and possibly place them in another category.
Those decisions are made by the Junkanoo Corporation, and they will take that from their membership. But again, it's not a matter of removing them from the from the process or removing them from the parade. Certain things happen as to reasons why they may not meet the eligibility requirements. It could be anywhere from members not the sufficient number of members not participating, or for whatever reasons. All right, but those are decisions that will be taken by the JCNP when the appropriate time comes.
Well, temperatures are on the warmer side this Thursday, but will these pleasant conditions last through the weekend? Meteorologist Greg Thompson is in the Weather Center with your first look at weather. Greg.
Yeah, thanks, Natalia, and a happy Thursday evening, everybody. What a way to start off the new year, 2025, with cooler temperatures. Cold front moved through us, and now in the central Bahamas, that's filtering some very cool temperatures across our area. 71 degrees is our current temperature with a few clouds on the outside. It is breezy. It winds out of the north-northeast at 14 miles per hour. That's bringing in that cold air mass. Feels like 70 degrees on the outside, and we expect those temperatures to continue to drop as the night goes. Satellite radar composite, very weak frontal boundary across the central Bahamas, basically falling stationary, couple of isolated showers along that boundary, but that boundary will start to back up towards north a little bit, so we could see some isolated showers across the Exumas, Cat Island, and as well as the Long Island area. High-level clouds to the north of us coming out of the Gulf of Mexico and the Southwest Caribbean. Not really going to produce any rainfall, but it's going to filter some sunshine for tomorrow. That's a quick check on conditions around the islands. Stick with us. A look at your extended forecast is still to come.
Still to come on our news, a businessman and religious leaders among 2025 King's honorees for exemplary community service in the country. Find out who made this year's prestigious honors list coming up. Also, as the new year begins, prison officials share successful rehabilitation programs, including one aiming to strengthen inmates' family bonds. And later, from career ambitions to personal growth, Bahamians are stepping into the new year with determination. Our Delvardo Emmanuel has a story when our news returns. Stay with us.
Hey, Greg Thompson here, and thank you for watching. Be sure to hit that follow button. And if you want to see more content like this, follow all of our news social media pages. And hey, don't forget to turn on your notifications so you never miss out on the top stories from the team you already trust.
Donald Trump has been elected president, defeating Vice President Kamala Harris.
America has spoken. Donald J. Trump is headed for a second term in the White House with a Republican majority in the Senate and the Supreme Court. On January 20th, the world will witness his inauguration, and Our News will be there. What will his changes mean for Bahamians in the region? Join Jerome Sawyer and the Our News team for a week of reports starting Inauguration Day, because Our News is always there when it counts.
From these hallowed and historic halls is where justice is administered daily. Yet these courts are challenged with backlogs, resources, and aging facilities. But improvements like e-filing, the enacted court services bill, and more specialized courts are signaling a modernized judiciary. On January 8, RTV presents live coverage of the opening of the legal year. Join us as we explain how this ongoing transformation affects you and the administration of justice.
In what we do at Best Brew, it really doesn't end when the customer purchases our product. We offer specialty coffee, tea, spices, and brewing equipment. We do a lot of our orders via website. We actually have the mobile service and the phone service and the internet. So having business in a box really kind of brought everything together for us and helps us to be able to provide the customer services.
A businessman and several religious leaders were among those named in this year's 2025 King's Honors List. The Office of the Governor General released a statement announcing King Charles III exemplary services and contributions to the people of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. Demetrius George Moscow was honored with the Order of the British Empire for services to the field of business. For their services to the fields of religion and community, Reverend Diana E. Francis and Bishop Godfrey Randolph Williams received Member of the British Empire honor. The British Empire Medal was awarded to Bishop Hentel Ruthnell Kemp for service to the field of religion and Dr. Inez Rowe. Congrats to those honorees. Well, as we enter a new year, officials at the prison say they've had several initiatives last year that have been successful in helping criminals rehabilitate. And just as the name changed from Her Majesty's Prison to the Bahamas Department of Corrections back in 2014, the focus of the institution is to change the minds of inmates. Deputy Commissioner at the prison, Bernadette Thompson-Murray, says one of the positive initiatives has been their Grow Your Child program.
A lot of men, when they come to prison particularly, they lose the bondage with their children. And so that, I think, is a key thing, what has been done here, enabling them. You know, you see the young men even shedding tears. For the first time, they're seeing their children after being here, having left them there at an early age of maybe 1 or 2, and now they are 13, 14. That's a lot of missed for that individual and not being able to do for them.
Well, you may have not noticed it, but there are also a number of inmates soon to be released spread across the island on the Work Scheme program, with some 50 prisoners carrying out everyday jobs. While it may be a risk, Thompson-Murray says they found that it helps the re-entry process to society.
So right now we're seeing a lot where a lot of the men are now being able to afford helping out their children as time for back to school, when it's time to go off to college and all of that. So we're doing some things here that is really enabling persons to see that differences in the lives of the offenders are working.
Well, the start of a new year means new possibilities and fresh opportunities. Across the Bahamas, people are embracing 2025 with a sense of purpose, setting goals that reflect their dreams and aspirations. Our Delvado Emmanuel caught up with residents to find out how they're planning for the new year.
Not everyone is on the same page when it comes to setting New Year's resolutions. While some see it as a way for a fresh start and to stay motivated, others feel the pressure to set goals can be overwhelming or unnecessary.
I stopped making resolutions because at the end of the day, the new year rolls in and you would start, let's say, to accomplish your goals, but at the end of the day, probably a month or 2 months into it, it's like that goal going out the door.
Personally, I don't create them. All I do is just learn from the mistakes I've made last year and try to correct them to make me have a better future.
For many, the new year is a time to dream big and make positive changes.
I want to create things happen for me, like create a business, create a job, side hustles, and I also want to be more prayerful, praying to God, first of all, and I want to be able to help others more.
My family, I'm hoping that me and my family would really unite and come back to being a real family and teamwork, come together and make it happen.
For others, they're taking a more spiritual approach.
More studying in the Word of God so I could be more, I'm doing a little preaching now, so I want my mind to be right. and I could be reflecting on doing good in my studies.
While many of the residents I spoke to had different goals, they had one thing in common. This year, they want to stick to their resolutions to make 2025 the best year ever. Reporting for Our News, I'm Delvado Emmanuel.
It's now time for tonight's Financial Market Minute, brought to you by RF, your local investment bank. This has been your Financial Market Minute. To explore the best performing mutual funds in the Bahamas, visit our website at www.rfgroup.com.
When our news comes back from the break, fans pack Bar Soul for an unforgettable night of classic hits and high energy with 1112. Our Daniel Miller brings you all of the highlights from the epic show straight ahead.
Coming up in sports, we've got the Exuma Sailing Club Regatta, the Battle of the Bowlers hits the baseball field this weekend, and action from around the NBA.
And it's a sunny Thursday as we step into 2025. Wondering what the weekend holds? Greg is back with the extended weather when our news returns. Stay with us.
Joshua Williams here. Thanks for watching. Be sure to hit that follow button and to follow all of our social media pages. Also, don't forget to push that notification button so that you can see all of the great content from the team you already trust.
Don't spend hours sending individual messages to your customers. Use SMS messaging instead. With Cable Bahamas Business Solutions SMS messaging, you can send personalized messages to hundreds or even thousands of recipients instantly. It's quick, effortless, and cost-effective. Plus, it ensures that your messages are delivered directly to your customers' cellular phones, guaranteeing higher engagement. Save time and boost your outreach with SMS bulk messaging. Call Cable Bahamas Business Solutions at 601-8911 in Nassau or 602-8811 in the Family Islands.
Welcome to Our Sports, presented by 10th Year Seniors. I'm Ronaldo Dorset. That's John Martinet. Let's do show. The Exuma Sailing Club concluded 2024 with the 7th edition of its Youth Regatta. The event featured sailors competing in several categories, including the Optimist, Sunfish, and E-classes. The regatta concluded on New Year's Day in the E-class, and the Lady Kayla, sailed by Joss Knowles and Keanu Hutchinson, were able to repeat as champions. They also won the Cammie Williams Memorial Cup Series. Mako, sailed by Emmett Knowles and Tiandre Brown, finished second, while One Bahamas, sailed by Tanaj Manos and Bryson Charlton, was third. In the Sunfish class, Knowles took first, followed by Manos in second, and Di Major in third. In the Opti class, it was Sonny Ampleman taking first place, followed by Heidi Ampleman, and Trayshawn McKinsey was third.
I can truly say that Dallas and his team here at Exuma Sailing Club can be used as a model for sailing here in the Bahamas. His students have shown that they can sail and compete against any skipper here in the Bahamas and come out as winners.
The CONCACAF Beach Soccer Championships are set to return to the Bahamas in March. The championships are set to take place March 11th to 16th at the Malcolm Park Beach Soccer Facility. The Bahamas will face Panama in the opening match on Tuesday, March 11th at 8 p.m. before taking on the United States and Trinidad and Tobago in the group stage matches. In 2013, when the Bahamas last hosted the event, they advanced to the semifinals, achieving their best finish in tournament history.
The winter break doesn't include a break from training for local baseball players, and one organization is spearheading an effort to keep them competitive. International Elite Sports Academy has partnered with Gulfstream Petroleum and Energy and G-Ball Apparel to host the Battle of the Ballers baseball tournament. Open to all players aged 14 and older, games will be hosted January 3rd and 4th at the Andre Rogers National Stadium. Bragging rights and a $3,000 cash prize are on the line in the double elimination format.
As long as they play baseball and want to be out there, they're welcome to come. Bring a team. It's a 12-man team, 12-man roster, sorry. 12-man roster. You could contact Avad Hart. But yeah, it's going to be out there. We're going to put a marketing and a media blast out in the next few days. But you know, I'm looking for it to be really exciting. You know, everyone's talking, everyone can't wait to get on the field and play.
Bahamian national team player Eric Gordon had one of his best games as a 76er, but they continued to struggle in the East. Gordon finished with 14 points in the 76ers' 113-107 loss to the Sacramento Kings at the Golden One Center in California. He shot 5 from 9 from the field, including 3 from 7 from the three-point line. It was Gordon's first double-digit scoring game since November 4th, and his 26 minutes were the second most he played this season. The 76ers are currently 13-18, 11th in the Eastern Conference standings. In the Western Conference, Klay Thompson's Dallas Mavericks lost 110-99 to the Houston Rockets. Thompson finished with 16 points and 5 rebounds while shooting 6 for 11 from the field and 4 from 8 from the three-point range in 32 minutes.
That'll do it for our sports. This is 10YS. You know, I know Junkanoo is all about debating the results, but I don't really have much left to say.
In the words of Klay Thompson, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Back to the studio.
Still ahead on Our News Tonight, R&B group 1112 puts on a spectacular show at Atlantis Resort. Our Daniel Miller has the exclusive recap of the epic event coming up. And it's a sunny Thursday as we step into 2025. Wondering what the weekend holds? Greg is back with your full weather details when Our News continues. Stay with us.
Yo, what's good, my loyal viewers? Ronaldo Dorset of 10YS here. First of all, thanks so much for watching, but be sure to hit that follow button. If you'd like to see more content like this, follow all of the Our News social media pages, and of course, don't forget to turn on your notifications so you never miss out on the top stories from the team, well, from the teams you already trust.
Every season creates an opportunity for you to enjoy the comfort and security of your most valuable assets. Unfortunately, termites are common and very unwanted guests that never stop eating. With Struckum, you can enjoy the peace of mind as we protect your investment with our 3-year fumigation warranty. Struckum, #1 in pest control services.
Each week, we go into the heart of our second city and talk to the people helping to shape this community.
This is what makes me happy to come to work every day, to know that I'm helping someone.
These are the faces of the Grand Bahama Port Authority, helping to maintain infrastructure, grow the economy, and bring a better quality of life.
Our mission statement is to better the lives.
Because I have to be a part of Grand Bahama.
Join me, Talia Hall, every Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. right here on Our News as we share these inspiring stories of Freeport. Stay with the team you already trust.
From these hallowed and historic halls is where justice is administered daily. Yet these courts are challenged with backlogs, resources, and aging facilities. But
This is Our News. Welcome back. As we kick off 2025, we do have some cold air mass that's moving across the area. Frontal boundary now across the central Bahamas, basically falling stationary. We will continue to watch that. It should fall apart, but some of that moisture will likely back up towards the north. So islands in the central Bahamas, that's the Exumas, South Eleuthera, Cat Island, and the Long Island area. You could see a couple of sprinkles. But that frontal boundary will basically fall apart. We expect another one to get near by Friday. Temperatures are going to take a bit of a dip right now. We expect it to take an even bigger dip once this second front comes through. So we're looking at some reinforcing cold air mass. That's going to stay with us. High pressure behind that will be building across the area. So we're looking for some breezy conditions for the weekend. So boating and beaching will become a challenge. So we will continue to keep you abreast of those conditions. Future forecast showing the moisture associated with that boundary still across the central Bahamas. Most of the activity staying out in the open Atlantic. And it's, like I said, falling apart. And by Friday afternoon into Saturday, we don't see much in terms of any significant weather with that. But we are watching a low pressure system and a frontal boundary that's going to get near by Saturday. That's going to bring us some nice changes to the atmosphere. Boating conditions tonight to tomorrow for the northwest Bahamas. The winds will be north to northeast at 10 to 15 knots, seas 2 to 4 feet over the ocean. High tide is at 9:37 tonight. The low tide takes place at 3:40 in the morning. Central and southeast Bahamas, caution fly for you guys. Rip current risk for the beachgoers. Northeasterly winds at 15 knots. They will be gusting high at times. Seas running 3 to 5 feet. they will be higher in gusts. Here's a look now at your national forecast. In the extended forecast, we will continue with those nice temperatures. Slight warm up tomorrow, but that front boundary that comes in on Saturday will jog our temperatures back down into the low 70s. 73 on Saturday. Sunday, we're looking for 74, and by early next week, we expect those temperatures to be back up into the upper 70s to near the 80-degree mark. That's a look at our weather. Make it a safe night, everybody.
Thanks so much, Craig. Well, how did you spend your last weekend in 2024? Our Daniel Miller spent it reliving some soulful music from the 90s with Grammy Award-winning group 112. I keep saying 112, but I know it's 112, who performed in Paradise. She has all the highlights. Let's take a look.
It's the final Saturday in 2024, and we are spending it with some of these guys at Bar Soul Presents 112. Yeah!
From the moment we arrived shortly after 8 p.m., the venue was near capacity, and there were still people waiting to get in.
Now the crowd is more than excited to see 112 perform tonight, and we also grabbed some ladies who are celebrating a birthday.
I am! How did you know I am? 64.
64 years young. Is this your first time to the Bahamas?
Yes. No, but first time here.
And are you looking forward to Bar Soul tonight? What are you looking forward to the most?
Seeing 112.
And how long have you been a fan of 112?
Oh, well, you know, they were out in 1997.
With hits like Cupid, It's Over Now, and Dance With Me, the Grammy Award-winning group says they could not wait to return to the Bahamas and party like royals.
It's a great feeling when we can do anything for our people, you know, and we love it down here. We used to spend a lot of time down there, Bimini and stuff. So, you know, it's anytime that, you know, Nassau, the Bahamas, you guys call, you know, 112 will be there.
And we're going to go back down memory lane. Everybody from 96 all the way to now. So, you know, 112 got a lot of smashes. Get ready to party.
Devoted to quenching the thirst of true R&B lovers, the performance had smooth vocals and flawless old-school choreography.
We ended the final weekend in 2024 with a bang, taking you back to 1990-something with some classic hits from 112. Until 2025, Bar Soul, see you next time.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Danielle Miller.
All right, looks like a fun night. Thanks so much for that, Danny. And thank you for joining us for our news tonight. On behalf of the entire team, I'm Natalia Hall. We'll see you tomorrow night. Have a great evening. Hi, and thank you for watching. I'm Natalia Hall. Be sure and hit that like and subscribe button if you want to see more content like this. Click right over here. And don't forget to turn on your notifications to see more content from the team you already trust.